So welcome everyone to the Global Power Platform Bootcamp, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So the title of this talk is Zero to Hero in Power Virtual Agents in 45 minutes. Who am I? My name is Prashantji Bhoyer, and I am from Washington, DC area of United States. I am recipient of Antarctic Service Medal, and I'm also recipient of Microsoft MVP Award since 2017. And my current categories are AI and business applications. And as far as my day-to-day job is concerned, I work at AIS as a cloud solution architect, where I focus on uh, automation and where we use a variety of the products and services in Microsoft ecosystem, such as Azure AI, Microsoft Power Platform, Microsoft 365, Teams, SharePoint, etc. I think I forgot to turn on the subtitles. So just give me a minute and I will start with that. Okay, perfect. So as far as AIS is concerned, AIS is in business of providing services in the Microsoft ecosystem from last 40 years. And AIS has been recipient of Microsoft Partner of the Year award on multiple occasions. Uh, So this is going to be an agenda for today. It is going to be introductory session to Power Virtual Agent. We will start with why we have to invest time learning about chatbots or virtual agents. Then in case you would like to implement a chatbot or virtual agent or voice-based bot, then what are some of the options available in Microsoft ecosystem? Then the bulk of the time we'll be spending today is talking about Power Virtual Agents, how you can get started, how you can do integration of Power Virtual Agent with other line of business systems. I'll talk about authentication, demos, key takeaways, and Q&A. Even though I mentioned Q&A towards the end, feel free to ask your questions at any time. Because your questions will not only help me, but other attendees who are on this call as well. I think we can skip this. I always have this slide whenever I do any kind of technical presentation, because it really doesn't matter what kind of tool we are using, whether you are using Power Virtual Agent, whether you're using, let's say, a bot framework, or you're using services from other vendors such as Google, IBM, or AWS. What really matters is what kind of problem you are trying to solve here. So this is the mission statement from Microsoft. They want to make data science and AI accessible to everyone. It doesn't matter where you are located, what your role is, and what kind of device you're using. And some of the services coming from Microsoft quite aligns really well with this mission statement. And Power Virtual Agent is one of that. So if you look at the AI services in Microsoft ecosystem, the core of AI services are part of Azure AI, where you have under scenario-based service, you have bot service, cognitive search, form recognizer, video analyzer, metrics advisor, and immersive reader. Under customizable AI models, you have vision, speech, language, decision, and open AI. And if you would like to create your own model from scratch and host that in Azure, then Azure Machine Learning is for you. So Azure AI is not only it's a first party service. What does that mean is not only we can use it, but other product groups within Microsoft also uses Azure AI. For example, if you are familiar with Power Platform, Power Virtual Agent behind the scene uses a bulk of the services in Azure AI. Same goes way for Microsoft Syntex. And some other services in Microsoft 65 behind the scene. They also use the same services that are part of Azure AI that we can also access as a Microsoft customer. So let's talk about why a bot or virtual agent. So a bot or virtual agent will provide you more natural human computer interaction. It can also help you to automate repetitive tasks and free up the resources. Depending on what kind of tool or technology you have used, the bots or virtual agents can be available all the time. It can be available depending on where you are. And if your implementation is right, it can also adapt to the user depending on the circumstances. However, the number one reason why we are seeing like a huge uptick in the virtual agents or bot is because a chatbot or a voice-based bot or virtual agent can help you to automate repetitive tasks and free up the resources. Like before all the hype that is around ChatGPT, a lot of organizations started to use it. Uh, Power Virtual Agent, especially after right after the COVID-19 pandemic started. Like if you remember 3 years before, March 2020, most of the organizations throughout the world started asking their employees to work remotely right after the pandemic started. Most of the organizations were not ready for the remote work. Very few organizations were ready for the remote work. And guess what? The number one department who had horrible time during that time was the IT department, because first, the people who are working in the IT department had to get used to working from home, and on the top of that, they have to also support their users. And if their users, depending on how technically savvy their users were, they had to like provide a lot of handholding and support so that everyone can work from home. And that's where a lot of organizations started exploring like how we can decrease the workload on the IT department. And that's where a lot of companies started exploring the virtual agents. There are a lot of ISVs and startup came into that ecosystem. And there are some other advantage of using chatbots or virtual agents. Just think of it as another way of providing support and supplement your existing help desk. And if you use some of the technologies that are available in Microsoft ecosystem, then you can create a chatbot, and that chatbot or voice-based bot can be available on all the supported devices or channels. Now, channels in the context of bot is different. And don't confuse that with the channels we get with the teams. Now, channels in the context of bots means I can develop a bot once and I can deploy that to multiple services or products such as Microsoft Teams, public facing website, Cortana, Facebook, Twilio, and the list goes on. And also, if your implementation is right, sorry, and another thing is the users are expecting the consumerization of the enterprise. What does that mean is if you are getting familiar with some of the service in your personal life, such as Uber, using Uber or Lyft, then we are kind of expecting the same kind of experience in enterprise as well. And that's where chatbot can really help you. And also, in most of the organization, the remote work is going to be norm, or may not be like 100% remote work, but maybe hybrid, where for a few days the employees will be working from office and few days they'll be working from home. So if we are already familiar with bots in our personal life, for example, if you are a customer of major financial institutions such as Citigroup or HSBC Bank, and if you call their customer service number, chances are their first line of defense is going to be a voice-based bot. And that bot will ask you some questions, and depending on your answer, that bot may provide you information right away, or your call may get redirected to another a person. So if you are interested in implementing chatbots in your organization, and if you are a Microsoft shop, then you have two options. Under platform as a service, you have Microsoft Bot Framework, which is an open source SDK and tools, and it is built for custom bot development. Right now, four major languages are supported. You can either use C Sharp, Node.js, Java, or Python. However, if you would like to host your bot using Microsoft Bot Framework, using Azure Bot Service, then only C Sharp and Node JS is supported. What does that mean is if Python or Java is language of your choice, then you have to host that bot somewhere else. You cannot use Azure Bot Service for that. Under software as a service, we have Power Virtual Agent. It provides a no code experience for bot development. Anyone can use Power Virtual Agent. And behind the scene, it is built using Microsoft Bot Framework. And however, you as a creator of the bot doesn't have to worry about custom code. Everything you'll be doing is using a low code, no code drag and drop interface. There is another tool available. It's called Microsoft Bot Framework Composer. It's an open source and cross-platform tool, and a lot of goodness that are available with Microsoft Bot Framework are now coming with Power Virtual Agent's new design. So if you have a fusion team where we have a mixture of team members, some team members are savvy with custom code, and then you have mixture, and in the same team you have people who are more business savvy or they understand the business rules. Then you can divide the team and you can create multiple bots to solve a single a use case. For example, a team of developers can create bots using Microsoft Bot Framework, and they can deploy as a Azure bot as a Azure bot framework skill. And the team of business experts can build a no-code, low-code chatbots using Power Virtual Agents. And from your Power Virtual Agents bots, you can easily call the chatbots, which we develop using custom code as a bot framework skill. So you can have a fusion of fusion team here so that you can divide the responsibilities between team members. Now let's talk about Power Virtual Agent. So Power Virtual Agent is one of the members of Power Platform, and we can use to create intelligent virtual agent. And Power Platform, anyone can use Power Platform. You can be a professional developer, you can be a citizen developer, or you can be a business user. And Power Virtual Agent sits on the top of pyramid. Behind the scene, it is built using Azure Bot Service, and it also uses a lot of Azure Cognitive Services. And it has a really good integration with Power Platform. For example, we call Power Automate as a gateway to the outside world from Power Virtual Agents. And if you are familiar with Power Automate, from Power Automate, we can connect to more than 600 services, or we have more than 600 connectors. And you can also create your own custom connectors as well. What does that mean is, if I create a chatbot using Power Virtual Agent, I can call a Power Automate, and via that Power Automate, then I can connect to a variety of the products and services which are related to the Microsoft or some non-Microsoft services as well. And also I can connect to my legacy application or legacy system using custom connector. This is a typical life cycle you will be following where you start creating your chatbot, then you author your experience. Then if you want to do, you can integrate your chatbot with backend services using Power Automate. And if you want to integrate custom code, then you can do that with bot framework skills for complex scenarios. You publish your bot to supported channels, and then you continuously monitor the performance and then make the improvements. So the graphical interface you get with Power Virtual Agent is very, very easy to follow, and you can use to create really sophisticated enterprise grade chatbots. If you have some pre-built information that you can quickly get started with, you can do that as well. The concept here is similar to the concept that we have with Q&A Maker, or its new name like Q&A question answer service, where you can use existing knowledge base and quickly create your topics. There are some other features available as well, but uh, some of the key terms that you should get familiar with before I start showing you some demos around Power Virtual Agent is the six. So topics represents the conversation flow roadmap based on different needs. For example, you can have different topics depending on your need. It looks like the subtitles are not available. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go and turn those off to preserve the bandwidth here. Okay. Okay. So topics, you can have multiple topics. For example, I can have a topic for PTO. I can have a topic for IT support. I can have a topic for leave request. For HR policies. I can have topic for expense reimbursement. And inside a topic, then you can have your own business logic. Entities, number one thing that you should remember while creating a chatbot, irrespective of any tool or a voice-based bot or virtual agent, is the goal of a chatbot is to mimic human conversation as much as possible. And we as a human, when we communicate with each other, we can provide the same information in multiple formats. For example, if you ask me, when are you going on vacation? I can give you explicit date, or I can tell you I'm going on vacation next Monday or next Friday. Then we are wired to comprehend that information. The same thing, if you would like to do, you can do that via entities so that you can translate the information that is supplied in the form of text into a meaningful entity that so that your bot can consume that. You can have nodes to connect to a different things in your business logic. You can have variables, you can use synonyms, and you can also use triggers. So we use triggers to trigger a specific topic. Each topic, it's recommended that you have at least 10 trigger phrases. However, you can have a topic without a trigger phrase as well. However, the recommendation is always have more than 5 to 10 trigger phrases. When it comes to the entities, you will see a chatbot will come, a Power Virtual Agent chatbot will come with some predefined entities, but you can also create your own custom entities as well. And one of the good thing is once you create a chatbot, you can deploy it to multiple various supported channels or devices. So without further ado, let me quickly show you a quick demo of this. And while I'm conducting the demo, if you have any questions or comment, feel free to post those in the chat window. So the easiest way to navigate to Power Virtual Agent is just use your favorite browser and favorite search engine and just search for Power Virtual Agent. And then you can click a sign in. And in case you don't have access, you can sign up for a free trial as well. And there is a free version of Power Virtual Agent also available that I will be covering in few minutes. Okay. So here you are on the homepage of a Power Virtual Agent, and just like we have the concept of environments in other Power Platform products, we have the same thing here. So you can have Power Virtual Agents that are distributed across multiple environments. So here I have just two environments, and all my Power Virtual Agents are in my default environment. And here on this particular page, you will see all the chatbots that are there that you have created using Power Virtual Agents. And then using the plus icon, you can create a chatbot. So right now, two designer experience are available. The one which is legacy, which is available for production usage. And there is a new unified campus where Microsoft has combined a lot of good features or rich features that are available with Microsoft Bot Framework Composer into a Power Virtual Agent. However, the unified canvas is right now under preview, so it is not recommended for production usage. However, excuse me, Microsoft is working hard to make the unified canvas generally available in next few months. So I'm just going to go ahead with one that is built for production. So it's very easy. All you have to do is, let's say, global power platform, Riyadh, and then specify the language. So right now, this many languages are generally available, and there are few nine languages are available in preview as well. So let's go ahead with English this time and click create. And this entire operation of creating a chatbot using Power Virtual Agents will take maybe a minute or two. And you'll see a lot of things will get spin up behind the scene, and you can constantly see the progress on the screen. So it's a really good time to ask any questions you may have. Again, you can unmute yourself, or you can just type the question in the chat window. And while the service is provisioning your chatbot, this page may get refreshed multiple times. As you can see, as and when different things are getting provisioned, the things in the left-hand navigation are currently grayed out. But since the things are getting provisioned, once everything is provisioned behind the scene, you'll see that everything is. We can then click on the links and then we can access it. So the one thing that you're seeing here on the screen called test a bot, it is a test option available so that while you are developing the bot, you can directly test that within the Power Virtual Agent UI. You don't have to go to a separate link. And using this tester bot, you can also debug your bot inside the Power Virtual Agent UI. And if you scroll down, you will see some information in helpful links. Okay, looks like the bot is created. So I'm just going to refresh one more time. And once the refresh is done, then I'll show you, walk you through the important concept in Power Virtual Agent. All right. So if you want, you can hide this test bot using the cross icon. And if you want it back, you can always click this button towards the bottom left of your screen. And then in the middle section, you will see that there are, if you scroll down, you will see some of the video tutorials available that, especially if you're new to this product, I highly recommend you to watch these videos so you can get familiar with the things. If you have any question, you can ask that to the community. And if you have any suggestions, you can also submit that to Idea Forum. Now let's walk you through some of the concepts or topics. So when you create a chatbot using the current experience and not the unified experience, your chatbot will have some predefined system topics. and how you can identify which are system topic and which are custom topic. So system topics are always going to be always on. You cannot turn them off, but you can modify them. And the custom topics are the one where you can disable them or enable them. And these are the four lessons that you get by default when you create a new chatbot using the current experience. These four lessons are really good in case you want to get familiar with how to implement business logic. But once you are familiar with this tool, then you can just make sure to turn this off so it's not conflicting with your existing business logic. Now let's go ahead and quickly go to the greetings topic. So greetings topic is the one which will get trigger whenever someone is started integrating with this particular chatbot. And if we see, there are like more 52 trigger phrases are there, and you can add your own trigger phrase as well. For example, in that your customers or your internal users use a specific term, you can also add that as well, and then you can customize this default flow that we have, information flow that we have in the greetings. Like for example, I can just combine the message here. I can customize this message. I can get rid of this message. So it's up to you what you would like to do here. Then next thing is, if I would like to create a new topic, I have two options. I can create from a blank, or I can use Microsoft Bot Framework Composer, and then inside Composer, I can create a topic. Now that thing experience is getting merged with the new unified experience. So if I go here, I'm just going to quickly go to blank and then start generating a topic here. So instead of I wasting time to create a topic from scratch and show you everything, what I will do is I will quickly show you a chatbot that I have created, and then I will walk you through like what was the scenario I used chatbot for, what topic I created, what was the trigger phrases I use in it. Okay, let me show you the topics. Okay, so this is the topic I created. This topic we created so that and to address if any user is having issues with their laptop or desktop. Instead of calling the help desk first, how about a virtual agent is try to troubleshoot that issue? And if the virtual agent is not able to address that issue, then how we can escalate that issue so that we are providing appropriate service to our customer here. So if while interacting with the chatbot, if the user uses any of these trigger phrases, then this particular topic will get triggered. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly show you this in action. So I'm just going to generate uh, a chat here. Okay, my laptop is not working. And if there is a topic matching with this particular statement that I have mentioned, then the business logic inside the topic will get triggered. For example, I have so I, and this is where some of the AI services come into picture. If you see here, what I typed is my laptop is not working. However, if you see the trigger phrases for this one, what I entered is slow laptop, issues with laptop, laptop not booting, laptop not starting, but nowhere you see that laptop is not working, right? So behind the scene, it has AI services, and it tried to intelligently guess what did I mean by that particular statement. And this time, it comprehended that okay, I'm talking about laptop issues, so let's start that topic, and then whatever the business logic we have in terms of messages and question, let's display that to the user. So the first thing we did is we displayed the message. And one of the good thing with test a bot is you can see the debug information right here in the Power Virtual Agent UI. So whichever the step that is currently got execute will see a right icon in front of it. For example, it has shown a message here. It also asks the question. And whatever the answer we are going to provide here, since it's a multiple choice question, we are going to save in this particular variable. And I can do a variable watch here. And as soon as I take action, that particular value, I can see this variable watch so that I can use this information while doing the debugging. So I just click yes. Did I reboot the machine? Yes, I reboot the machine. And are you stuck? And in terms of what sort of questions you need to ask or what kind of business logic you need to implement, everything depends on your organization's policies. And always, I always go back to my initial point I made is uh, with the chatbot or voice-based bot, we're trying to mimic human conversation as much as possible. So let's say imagine a scenario where you are having issue with your laptop and then you call the help desk. Then just try to imagine what in the best case scenario, how the conversation should flow. The same kind of business logic then we should be implementing here. So first question I ask the user is, hey, did you reboot the machine? If the answer is yes, then next question I'm asking is whether the user is stuck. Because if the user is stuck, that means I don't want to waste the user's time in troubleshooting with a chatbot or voice-based bot. We want to escalate that issue to a help desk so that help desk can then treat this issue as a priority and then help the user as soon as possible. So if I click yes, then what we are doing is first thing we are doing is we are doing the authentication challenge to verify who the user is, and then we are sending an email to our help desk on the behalf of user using a Power Automate. So before let me click yes and let it go through, and we can see whether okay. Let's click login. I'll show you how the login experience currently works. And then I'll show you how exactly I have implemented these steps. So let's do copy and then paste. And if everything goes fine, and then you can see the variable watch looks like the login is true, and the bot has successfully called the Power Automate as well. And now it is at the end of conversation. So with that, let me quickly show you a few things using the slide deck. And then I will again go back to my Power Virtual Agent UI. So another thing that is available with the Power Virtual Agent is really no robust the reporting functionality using the Power BI dashboard. And here you can see a lot of analytics regarding the resolution rate, the escalation rate, the customer satisfaction. You will see the entire session information, for example, what kind of question the user asked, what was the response from the virtual agent, so that you can download that and you can take a corrective steps over there. Uh, so using Power Virtual Agent, we can create personalized customer experience and in case you would like to transfer control to a human agent, you can do that using Dynamics 365 Omnichannel, or you can also use a generic live chat provider as well. In case if you don't have that, because both these are expensive tools and require a license, you can also help the user to create a ticket in your ticketing system, such as ServiceNow, or if you don't have that, you can also help the user by sending an email to appropriate department as well. And in case you would like to integrate custom code, you can deploy your custom bot, which is built using Microsoft Bot Framework as a bot framework skill. And then using call and action, you can then call that particular skill right away from your Power Virtual agent. Now, as I mentioned, Power Automate is your gateway to the outside world from the Power Virtual Agent. And the access to Power Automate is included with Power Virtual Agent SKU. And Power Virtual Agents come with two versions. One is the standalone, which is the license or paid version, and second is a free version. So if you sign up for the paid version, then all the premium connectors that are available with Power Automate, you get access to that, as well as long as you're calling that Power Automate from a Power Virtual Agent. We talked about this. Okay. I talked about a free version of a Power Virtual Agent. So it is available as part of Microsoft Dataverse for Teams. Microsoft Dataverse for Teams is a low-code platform for Microsoft Teams, and we can use it to create low-code, no-code apps, flows, and chatbots that will only work within Microsoft Team client. So the license for Microsoft Dataverse for Teams is included in most of the existing team licenses. What does that mean is if your organization is serious about using Power Virtual Agent and you don't want to sign up for the paid version of it, you can do a quick proof of concept using the free version of Power Virtual Agent. And then if your users really liked it, then you can convert that free version, free that chatbot to a paid version. Of course, the free version will come with some limitations. For example, it will only work within Microsoft Teams client, and it will have some additional limitations as well. How many messages, uh, how many interactions the users can have with the chatbot within a 24-hour span, and some other restrictions as well. However, it's a really good way to quickly do a POC and then try out that out chatbot within Microsoft Teams and see if your user like it. If you like it, then you can convert that to a full-blown version. Another thing that you will get with the data for Teams version of Power Virtual Agent is your entire development testing, everything will happen within a Microsoft Teams client. So you don't have to go to, let's say, a web browser or somewhere else. So let's talk about authentication. How exactly the authentication works with Power Virtual Agent. So you integrate with any authentication provider. Of course, Microsoft is recommended, but you can use authentication from Google, Facebook, or you can also use custom authentication provider. And these many options are available depending on which version of Power Virtual Agent you are using. For example, by default, when you create a chatbot using Power Virtual Agent, no authentication is selected. And you can select only for Teams, or you can select manual, where you can configure between Azure AD, Azure AD V2, and OR2. In the demo I showed you, I use Azure AD V2 authentication, and you can also specify optional sign-in. What does that mean is you can have sign in only explicitly available for selected topics, or you can also check that box so that every time a user is interacting with a chatbot, then the first thing they have to do is they have to authenticate. If you're using the free version of Dataverse for Teams, you don't have to worry about authentication because that chatbot will only available within Teams client. And to access Team client, you have to authenticate first. And these are the various options available when it comes to the single sign-on and other stuff. So without further ado, let me quickly show you how I have implemented this particular business logic here. So let's talk about the authentication first. So for that, let's go to the security. And let me show you how exactly I have configured the authentication there. So if I go to authentication, so by default, when you create a chatbot, no authentication will be selected. Then you can use second option only for Teams, or you can select a manual. And then inside manual, then you have three options. So you can either use Azure Active Directory, Azure Active Directory V2, or generic OR2 provider. In my case, I have used Azure Active Directory V2. And to use this type of authentication, all I have to do is in my Azure Active Directory, I have to register an app, and then uh, uh, register an app, get the client's application ID or client ID, get the generate a secret, and then provide that information inside uh, uh, the authentication setting. Another thing, let me quickly walk you through is entities. We talked about entities, so you'll get some predefined entities inside a chatbot, but you can also create your own custom entities as well. You get out of the box analytics, and the reports that are available to you are in the form of Power BI reports. These reports comes extremely handy, especially when you are, when your bot is in production and then you want to constantly monitor its performance. If you go to the publish icon, here you can publish your bot. If you go to a details, this is where you can change the name of your bot. You can change the icon. However, your bot's internal name, that is app ID, is always going to be unique, and it gets generated the first time, and you cannot really change that. If you go to channels, by default, your bot will be available on a demo website. And you can copy this URL, you can share that with your team, and then your team member should be able to test your chatbot outside of Power Virtual Agent UI. So this is a really good way. For example, if you create a chatbot and if you quickly want to pass on the link to the testers, you can just do that using this way. However, this link is not recommended for production use. And these are the channels available. You can deploy to Microsoft Team, to a custom website using iframe, mobile app, Facebook, Skype, Slack, Telegram, Twilio, Line, GroupMe, Direct Line Speech, and email. And under agent transfer, we have omni-channel and custom engagement hub. Under skill, if you are deployed in skill, you can see here. And if you go to AI capabilities, right now, 3 AI capabilities are available, where topic overlap detection is generally available, topic suggestions, and conversation personalizers are currently available in a preview. So let me quickly show you the business logic we implemented to escalate this particular issue regarding the laptop. And the way we did is we call a Power Automate from Power Virtual Agent. And let me show you how I did that. So for user is stuck, we are doing the prompt for authentication. If the user is authenticated, we are calling this Power Automate. So treat your Power Automate as a gateway to the outside world from Power Virtual Agents, and you can pass some input parameters to the Power Automate. The Power Automate will do further processing, and after the Power Automate execution is done, it will pass. It can pass some information back to your Power Virtual Agent, and then you can continue with your business logic. So as soon as this particular Power Automate loads, I will show you its implementation. Think we are good on time, right? We have 10 more minutes left. Okay. So if I click go to edit here, okay, it is taking more than usual to load this page. So it has this particular a trigger or action power or virtual agent, and here I can pass some input parameters. Then what I'm doing is I'm sending an email to an help desk, and I can then pass some return values as well. And once I configure this, all I have to do is inside my Power Virtual Agent is click a node and then call an action. Then I can explicitly specify uh, uh, which particular uh, Power Automate to call, and then specify appropriate information. For example, I have this Power Automate which I can call from Power Virtual Agent to create a Microsoft team. And as soon as I add, it will give me prompt. Okay, what kind of information that I have to provide, and then what kind of return information will come back. So let me quickly delete that, and let me quickly show you what are some of the ways things you can ask, like add. As part of your business logic, you can ask a question. You can do add a condition. You can do a call an action where you can call uh, a Power Automate. You can do an authentication prompt, or you can also call a broad framework skill, or you can show a message, or you can redirect to another topic, or you can do end of a conversation here. And when you ask a question, you can specify like as identity. By default, it's multiple choice question, but some other options are available as well. You can provide a text box where user can write like a bulk of text. You can provide age, Boolean, and all the pre-built entities, and you can also provide your own custom entities as well. So with that, let's go to our deck, and I want to talk about few other things. So now let's say you are interested about creating virtual agents or chatbot in your organization, but since we have two options available in Microsoft ecosystem, which one shall you will be using? So these are my personal thoughts. Like I have exclusively played with Power Virtual Agent and Microsoft Bot Framework a lot. So in my opinion, a lot of things comes very easy with Power Virtual Agent. There is going to be a steep learning curve when you want to create custom bots using Microsoft Bot Framework. Plus, first you need to be a developer. You need to integrate a lot of AI services in your bot to make it intelligent. However, cost-wise, Power Virtual Agent is a little bit expensive to begin with. However, if you compare that with bot framework, your initial cost will be low, but if you factor into cost, the development time, the cost for your other services such as monitoring service, for your AI services, chances are your cost is as good as same as your Power Virtual Agent. That brings us to the next question. Now, which one should you use? Then I always recommend start with Power Virtual Agent, and my recommendations are also aligned with Microsoft as well, because it's a SaaS offering, and this is where most of the investment is happening from Microsoft. For some reason, if you cannot use Power Virtual Agent, then go with Microsoft Bot Framework. And when it comes to hosting the custom bot building using Microsoft Bot Framework, where you want to host those, I recommend using Azure Bot Service. But for some reason, you cannot use Azure Bot Service, you can use VMs, or you can also use on-premise servers as well. So these are some of the lessons learned I would like to quickly share with you. Like, one of the goal of creating chatbot is we would like to mimic the human behavior. So try to use as much AI services as possible. Set clear cut expectation, like what your bot will be able to do and what it will not be able to do. Start slow and then slowly add the complexities, and pay extra attention to the analytics and telemetry, and always have a functionality to transfer to a human agent. And for that, you can use some sophisticated tools like Dynamics 65 for omnichannel, or some live chat applications as well. But you can also use as simple as, let's say, sending an email to an help desk on user's behalf. And always have a fusion of tools and skills because that will really help you for the success of your chatbot implementation. And always remember, tools and technology doesn't matter. What kind of problem you're trying to solve matters a lot. In case you would like to get your hands dirty with Power Virtual Agent, and if you don't have required access, I recommend to take advantage of this program from Microsoft. It's called Microsoft 65 Developer Program. Go to this link, sign up for the program. It's a free program. Via that program, you can get your personal Microsoft 65 tenant for free, which comes with E5 licenses, and the validity is 90 days. And it will have Exchange Online, Teams, SharePoint Online. It also comes with Power Apps, Power Automate. It also comes with Dataverse for Teams, and you can also sign up for the trial of Power Virtual Agent as well. These are the various ways you can get access to Azure. My personal favorite and recommended is, if you have access to MSDN, go to your MSDN portal and see whether your MSDN account can give you some free monthly credits or not. So hopefully the contents we covered today made you explore about Power Virtual Agents. We'll go home and play with it. And if you don't have a dedicated uh, sandbox environment in Microsoft 65, definitely take advantage of Microsoft 65 Developer Program. So with that, we come to an end. These are my contact details. I would like to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity, and all the attendees for patiently listening to me from last 45 minutes. If you have any follow-up question, feel free to reach out to me via email and LinkedIn. With that, we come to the end. So do let me know if you have any questions in the chat window, or just unmute yourself and ask the questions.